Hi there, viewers. Today, I'm joining a conversation with author Karen Vaughn. It's a pleasure to have Karen on the show. Hi there, Karen.
Yes, hello. Hi, good afternoon. I know it's afternoon here.
Yeah,
Um, we're on different time zones, but I'm
absolutely.
really excited to be on P. English's show. I know he's an author. I met him on the Black Authors Network, and I'm
Oh,
so excited to be on the show today because he has interviewed quite a few prominent authors, and I'm just, excited that I'm one of these authors that he chose to interview today. So
yeah,
thank
that's
you.
great. That's great. It's even exciting to get to know that you get to know me from the Black Authors Network. I never thought about that. So, Karen, your book, The Essence of a Woman, is a memoir that encompasses your intensive challenges. Now, I want to ask you, could you tell us why have you decided to write this book?
Okay. Yes, I wrote this book because I strongly believe that we all need to reconnect with our inner being,
Okay.
and we need to realize everyone, all of us need to realize that we have the power of choice to determine our own destiny. And that is if we choose to cooperate with the plans that our Creator have for us. Because
Yeah.
many people, they never tap into their inner being, and they don't know where their strength lies. And sometimes, people regret not finding themselves and finding out where their strength is. And maybe, they go on in life not knowing what their passion was, and they never tap into their inner being. And this is the reason I wrote the book, because I would like all of us to take a look at our lives and realize that whatever we have encountered through our lives on our journey, it has helped us now and allowed us to mold ourselves and become who we are today.
Oh, that's great. I love the
Yeah.
sound of that. Thanks for adding that. Now, for readers like me who haven't read The Essence of a Woman yet, without giving much information away, could we have a sneak of what you'd expect picking up the book?
Yes. Well, the book itself, the title is called The Essence of a Woman.
Yeah.
So it taps into, it allows us as women then to realize that we're strong, that we're nurturers, but we are also protectors. And
Yeah.
we have, the resilience and, the belief that can help us overcome all of our obstacles and adversities that we face in life. Because as women, we face men too. So it's not only just a book for women. I don't want the men to think that this is just only for women,
Yeah, I
because it's
understand.
not. Yeah, it's not, because we all face obstacles and adversities in our lifetime.
Yeah.
But why I specifically wrote this book was because it was written during a time when we were going through the pandemic. I actually started this book about 2, 3 years ago, but I put
Oh,
it down, and I didn't finish it because something
wow.
comes along, you have other things you're working on, and then
Yeah.
you forget. You just put it down for a while and say, okay, I'm going to go back to it, and then you never get back to it. But during the pandemic, I had a chance to finish the book because, like everything was closed down. A lot of people, we were laid off. So I said, you know what, this is a good time to finish this book. And I realized that there was many people going through a lot of struggles, especially women. We have our homes, we have kids, we have, you have like a family that you have to take care of and nurture. And then we, of course, like I said, many of us were not working at the time. We got laid off. We were at home. The children were home because they couldn't go to school because of the pandemic. So I realized there was a lot of women going through, a lot of mental issues,
Yeah.
and being overwhelmed by what was happening to them at that time. And so this is the reason I said, let me finish this book and let me write this book, because it will help women to overcome some of their fears, some of their obstacles, and help them to get their mind together, and just be stronger
Yeah.
and and go through what we were all going through, but with a little bit of help. So that's the reason I wrote this book.
Yes, I love that. I love the objective and aim behind the writing of the book. It sounds pretty much interesting to me. Now, from reading the description page of the book on Amazon, I felt intrigued with it. And this wants me to ask if your book has any sort of relationship with feminism. I'm not sure. Or it is something about inspiration and biblical enlightenment around the subject of womanhood.
Yes, yes. The thing is, though, many of us have met people with a narcissistic personality disorder. And this is where, the other person, has like, they have an infiltrated sense of their own importance, and they need like attention, in their lives. And, they probably never received this attention as a child, or maybe they had a very turbulent childhood, and so they lash out on whoever they become close to. I mean, in the beginning, you may think this person is somebody, a nice person and all that, but then what I experienced was that after being in a relationship with these people, their personality totally changed, and they became a totally different person. They began lashing out, verbal abuse, which turns into physical abuse sometimes. And then when you go through that kind of personality disorder, it affects you, and it affects your life. And if you have children, it also affects the children's lives. And so going through something like this, I am able to help other women, and help even not just women alone, but help other people that have dealt with narcissistic behaviors, such as what I experienced, and I wrote about in my book.
Wow, that's great. This issue of narcissistic behavior, it's something that have been very occurring over and over again. I've read quite a lot of
Yes.
memoirs about it, and I've had some authors come on my show also to talk about this narcissistic behavior. One of the one I can really mention is When Tears Leave Scars by Alice
Yes.
K. Dagny. It's quite
Yes.
very horrible that we have these things over and over again, repeating
Yes.
from different sort of people.
Yes. Yes. This is something that I think many of us have encountered. We
Yeah,
don't like to talk about
about
it
it.
and
Yeah.
to write about it, because many people don't like to admit sometimes that, it's a mental disorder, and that they have this kind of a personality disorder. Because even us as women and men, a lot of us, we're people of color, we don't like to go to a psychiatrist. And most people, they
Oh,
think that once you go to a psychiatrist, you have to be crazy, and
oh,
so you don't get the necessary help. Yes, you
yeah,
never go for to get the necessary help that you may need. And
yeah,
this is the reason why, and a lot of narcissists never get the help that they need. And so when
yeah.
you get into a relationship with some of these people, you have to make that decision. Either you're going to stay in that type of relationship, or you're
Wow,
going to get out
and
or
leave.
leave, or get help for them. And
Wow,
that's the best thing that you can do. Yes.
wow. I wouldn't advise anybody to stay in a narcissistic behavior
Exactly.
relationship.
Yes.
It's a terrible one. I got a
Yes.
very, very terrible one that happened in Nigeria. The husband went ahead and killed the wife. It was
Oh my
quite
goodness.
very sad. Very sad.
Yes.
It was like, and the woman, it actually happened to is a very popular musician.
Oh
So it's
my
just a
goodness.
very sad story. Okay, I'll tell about that. Karen, do you have another book that you're currently working on? If yes, could you tell us about the progress if you have
Yes.
any?
Yes, I'm working on a book right now, and it's called Becoming a Better You, and tap
Wow.
into your mind, body, and spirit. And
Wow.
this is what I'm actually working on right now. Because the thing is, once we can change our mindset and control our thoughts, we are halfway to changing our entire life. You just control your mindset, get up every day and be thankful for another day. And, instead of getting up and being depressed and being, just very angry, and,
Yeah.
you can change your whole day once you get
Yeah.
up and be thankful and grateful that, at least you have another day to accomplish your dream and your goals, and your life. God gave you another day to do whatever you need to do, because you're still here, because there's something that you have not accomplished yet. That's how I look at it. And
Mm.
so each day is a new start, and to a new day, and a new life, and so you have to have that mindset. Whatever you set out to do, you will accomplish your goal, but you have to be consistent. You
Yeah.
have to have discipline. First of all, discipline is one, and then consistency is the next thing. Because if you're
Absolutely.
consistent every day, you write down at least even a chapter a day, you'll see how quickly you're able to finish the book. And
Sure.
this is what I'm doing now. I hope to finish in November so I can have the book out for Christmas, for
Ah,
December.
that's
So
great. That would be a very good Christmas gift to
Christmas,
friends and family.
exactly. Yes, yes, that's why I'm trying to finish it by that
Yeah,
time. So I can get it published and for Christmas. Yes.
that's great. And I even love the sound of the book. It sounds quite inspirational. Now, I know
Yes.
that we might have probably answered this question during the course of this interview, but from reading the endorsement section of your book on Amazon, I'm quite
Right.
intrigued and I'm curious to know if it has to do with some teams dealing with an experience with someone with narcissistic personality disorder.
Right. Yes. And I was married at one time. I got married
Uh,
very young. And so this was like in the teenager. And so the
oh,
person had the person had a narcissistic personality disorder. And being that young, you're not even, you're not able to analyze that at the time. But
yeah.
of course, as a year went by or 2 years, then it showed. And of course, I was going to school at the time, because now I'm in the medical field, and I'm also an author, and I'm an entrepreneur as well. And I also studied mental health. So I
Oh,
finished a master's in mental health. So, but at that time, of course, didn't know what I know now.
yeah.
And so, yes, I had to deal with that kind of behavior from this person. But, in 2 years, I was out of it. But I dealt with that. And that's how I know when I see somebody and the certain behaviors and traits that they have, I know definitely this is somebody I need to stay away from, because they have a narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah.
So, so yes, I actually went through it, and I wrote about some of that also in my book. And this is why the next book that I have, where, it says Becoming a Better You, I kind of go over all the steps that you need to
Yeah.
do to tap
That's,
into your mindset, and into, to kind of help you realize that it's not you that maybe, is a problem. It's, you just have to know that you are who you are, and you're worth it. You have to know that you can do anything you put your mind to. You just
mm,
have to have the discipline and the consistency, and have like a good network of or team, people around you that can push you and encourage you to go to the next level.
wow. That's quite an
Yes,
experience. That's quite
yes.
an experience. And I'm happy to hear about your encouraging words. It sounds quite motivational. Now, I want to ask you, what are the challenges you encountered while writing and putting your book together? If there's any, could you share with us how you ultimately overcame it?
Yes, as I mentioned before, my challenges were because I was working, I'm studying, trying to get
Okay.
my
Oh,
degree and all that. So it became very, very hectic for me. And then I kept putting it down. Like I would write one paragraph or two paragraphs, and then I put the paper down. I said, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll finish it this weekend. And it never got finished. I just kept putting
oh,
it off and off and off. And as I
oh,
said, like I know the pandemic was horrible, and it wasn't something that we want to go through again, because it was global. This was a worldwide pandemic. But in some instances it helped, because it gave us that time.
Yeah.
Maybe
Sure.
we would not have done what we're doing now, if it wasn't for that,
Yes.
because then we had a lot of time on our hands. We could
Yeah.
not come out of the house for a little bit. So we were able to do, think of other things. I mean, I heard a lot of inventors and entrepreneurs came out of this pandemic because people
Absolutely.
started doing things that
A lot
maybe
of
they
them.
never thought about before, because, yeah, they had the time now to sit and think and say, well, maybe I should start doing this, or, start doing that. And then you had more time on your hands. So you were able to finish and accomplish things that maybe you would never have accomplished if this didn't happen. And so this is what, happened with me. And so the difficulty for me was that it's a time. You have to designate time to do everything. You have to become organized,
Yeah.
become more organized and set aside a certain time for your writing. For some people, it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when
Get the
they
inspiration.
yeah, their inspiration comes, like early morning, they get up early, like maybe they even have a dream and
Yeah,
they
they
just
write about
out
dream.
the dream and they said, this is something, maybe this is
Sure.
like something I should write about, and you write it
Absolutely.
down and then you put it in your book. Yes, it happens,
Absolutely. Sure, it
Yes,
happens. I
yes.
also write from my dream too.
Oh, really? You
So
are?
it's
Okay.
relatable.
That is good. That is good. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. So
And
it's a
so the
fun to,
inspiration comes for you then from dreams and from maybe things that happen from
abs-
your life and experiences that you've had.
sure. Yeah. It's also fun to get to know that a lot of people discover their talent during the pandemic.
Yes, yes, yes. I've heard a lot of stories about that. And yeah, I think that, it was a time for us to reflect on our lives, and
Yeah.
maybe it was a time that God is pushing you to do something more, or
Sure.
do something better, or to take you to another level. And so yes, I believe that's what happened during this
Yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah. Now, Karen, could you tell us what publishing is like for a published author like yourself? What are the mediums you've utilized so far in terms of marketing and promoting your book?
Yes, well, I have been going to vending events where
Uh,
I'm able to speaking events, like I am involved here with a lot of my community, even political events. Sometimes I go and I'll be a vendor at some of these events, some of these author events as well. Libraries, I sign up with them, and then the library will carry my book, and then I will do like a speaking engagement there at the library. And then, I become a vendor and I sell my books that way as well. And it is on Amazon, as you know. So my book is also on Amazon. I'm trying to get this into Barnes and Nobles now. So it will be also in Barnes and Noble shortly before the end of the year. And then I also I'm on different platforms, like I'm on the Black Authors Network. I also did the Becoming the Best You. I did a event with them as well, where I spoke on a panel, and I also did the Black CEO event, where we also spoke on a panel as well. And you can also be a host, or you can be a keynote speaker. And so
oh,
when you put yourselves on these platforms,
yeah.
it elevates you, because the thousands, millions of people are seeing you, and they hear about your book, and then they say, okay, maybe I should, pick
Okay.
up this book on Amazon, and so you're promoting yourself this way.
Yeah.
And because I have another event coming up as well, the end of September, where it's going to be worldwide, and I will be on that platform as well, speaking on a podcast. So podcasts, book events, or being a vendor, speaking
Yeah.
events, like the library, you can, all these things you can tap into to promote
Yeah.
your book. Yes.
That's a lot of medium. I love the sound of that. That's
Yes.
very great. Now, is there anything that you love the viewers to know about your book, The Essence of a Movement, that we haven't mentioned in this interview and you'd love the viewers to know?
Yes, I would. The thing is that what I would like them to know then is, on my book, is that never give up on your dreams. Your goal, you may have like an idea sometimes, and then you say, this may be too big, people are not going to be, they're not gonna, like what I have to say.
Yeah.
You get very fearful. Just go ahead and plod through and get yourself out there. You'll be surprised at how many people will say, you helped me by reading your book. I was
Absolutely.
able to do certain things, I was scared to do, but when I saw your story was very inspirational to me, and it motivated me to do more, and to know that me, even being a woman, that I can do certain things, because I was scared, I was fearful, and I thought that maybe being with somebody that was very controlling, and someone that was putting you down, you felt like, okay, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I'm not, but once I read your book, I was able to pick up myself and say, well, if she can do it, I can do it
Yeah.
as well. And so I think this is the thing we need today. We need inspiration, especially with everything going on in the world today.
Absolutely.
A lot of things are in chaos right now. People
Yeah.
don't know whether they're coming or going, inflation, all this kind of thing is happening. Just remember that, you have your faith, whatever faith it is, but you do have to hold on to something. And, you're strong, and you're resilient, and you
Yeah.
can overcome any obstacle in life that you face. All you have to
Yeah.
do is remember that, remember who you are, and remember that with your faith, with your strength, with your courage and your resilience, you can do anything that you put
Absolutely.
your mind to do. Yes.
Absolutely. I love the sound of that. It's very motivational. I love it. Very, very
Yes.
great. Now, as a published author, Karen, what sort of
Yes.
advice do you have for other writers who are still struggling to publish in a book like yours? What would you tell people in this category?
Well, I would tell them not to give up, and you can become a self-publisher too. You can go on Amazon and sign up with them. You don't have to go through a publisher. I went through a publisher because it was easier for me, because I didn't
Yeah,
have the time
times
to
to,
to do the self-publishing, because a lot of times too, when you do the self-publishing, you also have to do the marketing as
absolutely.
well.
Yeah,
Um, with my publisher, I paid them for, to do some of, to do the publishing and some of my marketing as well. So they're also helping me to market my book. If you self-publish, a lot of times you have to do all that on your own. So, some people find it very difficult because, they're working, a full-time job maybe, and they
yeah,
also, some people are going to school, they have children, they have kids they have to take care of, they have a family. And so it's hard on them to do that. So what I would suggest is that maybe, I mean, if you have, a few dollars that you can spend, go through a publisher. If not, then, just you can self-publish. A lot of publishers have done that. What you could do is a
absolutely.
pre-sale.
Yeah,
When you self-publish, you can do a pre-sale on your book. And
sure.
then this is the way you can pick up more sales even before your book comes out, because Amazon will put the book out there, even though it's not exactly published yet. But people will still, once they see the title and you have the picture, on your book, they will say,
Yeah,
oh my gosh, I maybe need to get this. And they will buy your book. And that's how you become a book, a
an author.
bestseller. Well, because
Yeah,
when people start buying your book, even before it's published, most people, that's how they become bestsellers. You put it on a
absolutely.
pre-sale, and then, have people buying your book even before it comes out. So that way, by the time it comes out, and then all those sales start coming in, that's how you become a bestseller.
That's great. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure I love your advice on this, and I'm pretty sure that viewers, including myself, would love to
Yeah.
utilize it. So thank you so much, Karen, for coming on the show. It's a
Yes,
pleasure
and
speaking with
thank
you.
you. And I appreciate that you had me on your show. And remember now to you become the best you. Remember that your essence is everything. And like my book says, the essence of a woman, we need to tap into our inner being and our inner strength and find our courage to do anything that we want to do. And it's on Amazon, guys. So pick up my book, The Essence of a Woman, and read it. And then this will certainly help you.
Very good. Absolutely. I've left a link in the description part of this video for viewers to check it out. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. It's a pleasure as well. Thank you.